Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Roundtable. My name is Shalan, and joining me this morning is my beautiful co-host, Gianna.
Hi.
And our guest, psychologist Jehan Saida White. Did I pronounce it properly? Yes. Okay. Welcome to the Roundtable. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, and you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm getting ready. There's this charity. What is it called? It's called an Evening of High Fashion with Westwood High School. The Old Girls Association is putting it on Saturday night. They're trying to raise $25 million.
Not you plug it. We're supposed to have it small talk. Not you plug it. Shameless plug.
Shameless.
Just off by, just right off by, just boom.
Yes.
We need $25 million. The Westwood Old Girls Association, and they're having a high fashion thing. Right?
Yes, they had a fire, and they're trying to raise those funds. So I'm gonna go model for them, and yeah.
And you can give me these earrings when you're finished. Thank you very much.
These are from Sabrina Reynolds. It's Jamaican made.
Oh, by Jamaica.
Yes, and she's been featured on the Sunrise Gift Market before as well. She does handbags as well, all sorts of things.
And how are you this morning?
I'm really well, thank
Not
you.
nervous?
Slightly.
Don't be.
There's no need to be.
It's all, good.
Yeah.
So now it's time to see what's buzzing in our social buzz.
Guess where I am right now. Do you want to have a guess? Shut your mouth. I'm in a hotel.
I told you that wasn't specific enough. First, I thought I'd use your headboard to locate your hotel since it's so unique. However, unfortunately for me, it seems as if this style of headboard is a lot more common than I thought it would be. And I realized I could actually use your room service again to narrow down your hotel, because you ordered one very specific item, berry compote. So I decided to do a search for hotels with berry compote on their breakfast menu. Now, I didn't have a confirmation that your hotel was in London again, but I didn't get the sense that anyone was flying you anywhere, so I decided to start there. And looking for London hotels with berry compote on their breakfast menu, I only got one direct hit. Ferndale Hotels. A hotel chain with 5 hotels in London. Hamyard, Haymarket, Soho, Charlotte, and Covent Garden. Went through the breakfast menus of all 5 hotels, and Soho was the only location that had berry compote listed on their menu. Additionally, they had smoked salmon scrambled eggs, which you also ordered. And going back to my headboard search from earlier, I realized that all the hotels that popped up were actually all Ferndale locations. Didn't take me long to realize you were staying in the deluxe terrace room, matching the headboard wallpaper and artwork shown here to the headboard wallpaper and artwork in your video. Looking out your window, we can see that you're directly across from a building that has horizontal slats running across the side, which is this building right over here, which means you have to be in one of these 2 terrace rooms. However, from the window, we can also see that there is a railing separating a terrace to the left of you, which means you must be looking through the window on this terrace. You can even see that this table over here is directly behind you in your video, which means your room is right here, the deluxe terrace room, the second southernmost room on the 6th floor of the Soho Hotel on Richard Mews in London. I'm glad you decided to wait to post until after you left this time.
My God.
Yeah. Give you the heebie-jeebies?
Yes.
I think
He's like traumatized.
Traumatized. So when I saw it, I was just like, because, they go back and forth. She knows him, and they're online friends. But she's posted before, and he's done this to her before to tell her to post when she's left.
Yes.
And so that's why he's like, I'm glad you waited till you left this time to post. But I also wanted to show you guys, like, how... we think people can't find you.
Oh, my God.
But look, he found down to the room that she was in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what her view was like.
Yes, and so that is based off her food order.
Yes.
Okay, so...
And the headboard.
Yes.
That was it.
Yeah, well, the headboard was very distinct. So, yeah. But also, I just want to let you guys know, he doesn't do this all the time. He uses his powers for good. Oh. So like if you like you have family members who've lost each other and they're like, oh, the last picture we had was here, right. And he's able to find them anywhere in the world and say, oh, this was in such and such a place at such and such year, and then they go and they ask people who live there and find each other. So he uses his powers for good, but every now and then he shows us why we need to be careful online.
Yeah. That totally, my heart was beating in my chest. I was there saying, oh my God, but I don't post in real time either.
Right.
But not because of that. But now that's another.
That's a whole new.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now that I've scared you, we can jump into the bag of things.
Bag of things.
Bag of things.
Yeah.
Bag of things time.
I have a little bag.
Let's go.
Actually, it's about little bags.
Oh.
So have you guys heard of TBE? It's called tiny bag energy.
Look.
And so I'm one of those people that have a whole lot of tiny bag energy.
No, man, this is insane.
I have a little collection here of tiny bags.
This one has
And
loops.
people always, because
go
you
to your
can-
belt.
Yeah, belt or crossbody.
Oh.
Yeah, people ask me all the time, like, what do you hold in there? I don't know. Like,
A phone can't fit.
no, a phone can't fit. You know,
This is like an eyeglass case for me.
I put my my
What-
tiniest dreams in there. I
What
don't
is
know.
this?
Like, it's
What
a
is
bag.
it? This don't even have.
It's a bag.
It don't even have a puff.
I was about to say, can it
You
open?
can't have a slide. Yeah. Can it
Yeah.
open? Where?
Yes, in the back. There's a zip,
Oh.
and you can, you can do the whole. Then there's like a minaudier, but it's tiny. It's tiny. And a frog. I collect frogs. I don't know if you guys
If
know
it
that about
sparkles,
me.
I like
Well,
it.
you should know that by now.
Sparkly.
So yeah, so if you have TBE, it's the true luxury because that means you don't walk around with much.
So your big bag of things is tiny bags.
Right. Yes, my bag of things today is tiny bags and collecting them
open this.
and making them fun for you. Let me help her.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna open this one. See? Oh, this one even comes in a tinier coin purse.
No, this is slackness. What it must fit in this?
And a
This can't
tiny
hold
mirror that I've never opened.
All of 5
Because
pennies.
why would I? I can't see
Tiny
myself
mirror
in
like
that
all
tiny.
that.
Yeah.
One tooth.
But yeah, so people ask, okay, so on a real note now, people do ask what I can fit in them. And a lot of them fit cards, they'll fit a lip gloss, they'll fit
Maybe a
my
key.
car key, right? And my driver's license, just the essentials. Your phone is always in your hand anyway. So when they ask if it fits a phone, like who's reaching back and forth for a phone anyhow? So they fit enough. And we're all enough. So tiny, big, anything you are, like have that energy, but tiny bag energy is what we cover today for bag of things.
Oh, I love that. And just in time with your bag of things because in the corner of my eye, I see something hot coming. Hey, thank you very much, Vanilla. All right, you're gonna
I'm putting away the bag of things.
put away your
Go
bag so
ahead,
we
go
can.
ahead,
Okay,
go
all
ahead.
right. And we're looking at the topic today.
Okay.
Okay, and the topic is the quicksand of guilt, navigating regrets and what ifs. I had to be dramatic when I read it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the quicksand of guilt, navigating regrets and what ifs.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's so deep.
So,
So
like-
deep dish topic today.
So like if I tie it in with my bag of things, sometimes I feel a little guilty about buying, about how much I spend on a
And
tiny
regret
bag.
because you wish you had a bigger bag.
Yes, I do.
Let's a more serious take on the topic, please.
Yes.
The what ifs and regret and guilt. How does that affect everyone on a daily basis?
Well, guilt and regret has a way of almost forming our perceptions, right? It can almost see it like a colored lens. I see, the rose-colored glasses expression,
Yes.
the guilt-colored glasses expression, or the
Yeah.
regret-colored glasses expression if you're not careful. So it can really change the way you see things, you view things, and even how you remember things, depending.
Oh, yes.
I can see that.
Yes, and the bigger part about it is I feel like it can steal your joy, like based on what you're saying, like you're less grateful when you see things as bad.
Yeah.
And if you're guilty, and if you feel guilty or regret about something, you probably feel like it was bad. So you're not taking from the experience like the good parts of it or what you should be grateful for or how much growth you probably made from that experience because you're just looking back with regret.
Right. And so you have guilt and you touched on regret, but Gianna wanted to know like the what ifs. So is it that, sometimes you're feeling guilty about something and you kind of stop yourself from doing it, but then later down the line you're thinking, what if I hadn't, what if I had?
Right.
Is that how, life goes?
Sometimes. So the difference between kind of guilt and regret is that when it comes to guilt, we after we make a decision, one of two things happen. Either I think to myself, guilt comes when I had expected that particular outcome, and I feel guilty about it. Versus regret, I did not expect that particular outcome, and so I almost have regret. So that's kind of the slight difference between the two.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so when it comes to kind of figuring out the what ifs, because a lot of time we're trying to figure out, almost like to understand the why.
Right.
Why did I do this? What happened? What if, what if, what if?
Right.
And while that can be helpful because we almost want to have understanding, the difficulty is we get stuck in it.
Yes.
Because a lot of times there is no answer. It's already happened.
Right.
So we get stuck in this loop of, oh my goodness, what could I have done? What was I thinking? And then you turn it inwards. And then before you know it, you're in what I call almost like a regret spiral.
Right.
You think about all the ways that it went wrong and all the things I should have done differently.
Right. And I have this issue. I have this issue where I feel like sometimes I'm living in a parallel universe. So what happens is after I start spiraling from this, I like play out from beginning to end what should have happened,
and what would have been different.
What would have been different, why didn't I do that? And then like it keeps going though. It's a spiral for real.
Absolutely.
Because then it's like, okay, but then this wouldn't have happened. Like, so then at that point I figure out what the good part was of what happened. And then I'm saying, but then I could have done this. So then it's like I'm gone back in the same behavior, but in an alternate outcome again. Like so I take the steps over and over in my mind, you know, like sometimes I'm wondering if I'm crazy.
And literally rewritten history.
Yes.
Like that never happened.
Right.
It cannot happen, but don't change the fact that I've had 4 different scenarios of what should have happened.
Right. So for me, my what ifs come before. So it's not guilt and regret yet. It's like based off what has, you know, like experience. So you know, everyone deals with their frame of reference. So I know that the possibility, and so I start the what ifs from very early on out. What if this happened? What if? And you know what is, you know,
How does that work for you?
The what ifs never happen. They never happen.
No.
So you know, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
And with regret, we have to throw it to a break. More roundtable after this break. No, it never like. Welcome back to the roundtable this morning. The topic is the quicksand of guilt, navigating regrets and what ifs. And you know, I wanted to ask Gian, I wanted to ask you about, in terms of what are some of the, you know, you can kind of know the pros and cons of having this kind of mindset. Some people say there are more cons than pros. I think there are some pros, but I'm going to ask you the cons.
The cons about having the mindset of guilt and regret?
Right, yeah. Like, what's some of the disadvantages of that?
Well, some of the disadvantages is that you end up almost rewriting history, like I said before. So really the difficulty that you have is that you can't go past it. And so it can keep you very stuck. Right. There isn't an opportunity, I think, with guilt and regret, and like we had said before, with the intention of trying to play out different scenarios, you're trying to get understanding.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out the why, what happened.
Right.
However, rarely do people use maybe that opportunity to understand and then now what next? There's no what next. You just kind of stick with this is where I am and this is what has happened, and the spiral happens and you never pull yourself out of the spiral. And I think that's the thing people need to recognize, is that if you're not careful, there's no movement from the spiral. It's just you get stuck there.
Right.
I think one of the pros I would say is that you can use it as a teaching moment.
What? The actual guilt
Like the what?
that
No,
you
the
had?
little spiral that you go through. You know, a little guilt,
Yeah.
not spiral, but
it's-
the like you do a little.
But if
recap.
I'm fair, like, remember, I'm always recapping, right? And if I'm fair, the truth is that the only positive is when you actually reach the point where you say, well, it done happen.
It is what it is.
Exactly. Now, if you get there, no, but if you get there, not everybody
can reach
there. That is the problem. So, and that's why if you utilize it as an opportunity to understand and then move past it, fantastic. But the challenge is people don't always move past it. And so the question is guilt and regret kind of like, is it useful? Can it be useful? Those are the questions I would ask.
But how do we cope? Like, what coping mechanisms are there that can help someone like me?
Words of affirmation. It is what it is.
Yes.
That.
Yes. But it takes so long to get there.
However, Okay, seriously, let her tell us. What are some of the coping mechanisms?
So some of the coping mechanisms can be acceptance. Okay, so accepting, just like you said, it done happen already. Accepting it has already passed. Something else you can do is you can be really mindful and within that acceptance, knowing that, okay, that happened in the past, but what's happening in the right now?
Solutions.
Absolutely. Also, a lot of self-compassion. So the
Give
thing
yourself
with
grace.
because the thing with guilt and regret is you're not being compassionate. You're always meeting yourself with judgment.
And you're hard on yourself than other people
Yes, miss.
all the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
But however, if you're able to, like I said, utilize that with understanding, then with understanding we have acceptance, and with acceptance we then move to self-compassion. We've learned something positive has come from
Right.
this, as opposed to getting stuck in one of those other phases before you get to the point where you're able to reach self-compassion, understanding, acceptance, etc.
Right. But then there's also, I find, the unhealthy behavior of trying to then control what happens in the future. So now because of how I felt,
Guilty.
so because of how I felt now, I never want that to repeat again.
That is what I meant when I said my what ifs come before.
Before.
Because
Right.
I am feeding off of what happened before.
Right.
So, yeah.
So what do we do at that point? Because at that point, we're at this crossroads where we're probably acting irrationally because the same set of circumstances it's never the same.
Right.
So you're probably not going to have the same outcome as before, but you're doing everything now in your power to not have it happen. So you're choosing some crazy things sometimes to avoid
really
it.
left field,
Or, you know, or sometimes you just end up freezing and not doing anything.
At all.
At all.
Which is true.
Yes, that is absolutely true. Because remember something that you had said before, Shalane, is that all the what ifs, they don't happen.
Right.
They don't even occur. And so it doesn't change the fact that I spent 2 hours going through these scenarios.
Come on in, thinking of some movie scenarios in your head. Doesn't happen. No one.
And so that's also where the acceptance comes from. So the acceptance of this is different, as much as I can do what is within my power. So remember what you control.
Right.
And the thing with the what ifs is you talk about all the things you don't control. I'm talking about the way the meteor is going to hit Jamaica at that one particular time when It just makes no
right
sense.
at 8 o'clock.
Always. When you should be sleeping.
When we should
or
be
doing
saying,
something
welcome
else.
to the Roundtable. Meet you.
And so it really is about being able to accept and know that I'm going to do what I can within my power.
Okay.
And therefore, after that, I can now move forward and whatever will be, will be. A lot of the things that you had said, but applying them at different places. So it is what it is. So whatever's going to occur is going to occur, so let it. But I'm going to be as present, and I'm going to utilize what I have in front of me right now, and that is good enough.
Right.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that, we need to just go in there with an acceptance, with an accepting attitude.
Yes.
And just also be present.
Yes.
And just deal in the now, not the past and not the future, just getting things done in the now.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay, I have one more question.
Go ahead.
I probably have 100 more questions.
Please.
Do you find that part of us trying to fix these things after the fact, like in our minds, is like perfectionism gone wrong? Because, I mean, there are no real circumstances that would all align. Like, everything that's supposed to happen happens, right?
Yes.
So whatever happened led you there. So, but in your mind, it should have been a perfect outcome. This is exactly what should have happened because of what's in your mind, right? So is it us trying to control in terms of how perfect every single thing could have been or would have been or should have
I
been?
think there's some.
Is that what it is? Is that where it's coming from? Because I'm a recovering perfectionist.
I've never met one.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
All right, so we hit the home stretch right after this quick break.
Okay.
So recovering perfect.